have one, but I didn't left it on my desk at home.
Nope. Oh, I don't remember when we switched. You know what? For around here, it's not too bad. it'll do.
You should see this fancy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. Little tiny little thing. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Pretty cool. Well, we were doing this for a while when I was working with Matt Sanders to air it on the Missouri. So how long ago was that? He's been gone a while. Oh, that's right. He was there for a while after you left. Yeah. He got to like a co-managing editor.
Yeah, when he got to something.
Yeah. He had a seven.
Now he's an editor.
Yeah. I wonder if he's having as much fun with his council meetings. Yeah, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. Ooh, we should do that. Oh, it's like one of those really awkward weddings when somebody doesn't have anybody show up. Yeah, staff, we're going to need you to spread out. They're cliquish. It's just like high school.
I know it is.
Is this the last one of the year for?
We have November. We're going to try to go through
One more. Okay.
They said we can like you.
They are.
What time is it?
Okay, council, begin our study session. Thank you for being here. Anyone here to appear on any item not on the agenda? And I see none. So agenda.
Okay, we will have one presentation this evening from Old Town Cape. Ms. Marla Mills will be giving us an annual report and a presentation on the Partners in Preservation announcement. So Marla's here for that.
Council, you have that in front of you, everybody. Right, thank you.
Reports from council.
I'll comment about the ships down on the dock and the strength of downtown on the weekend with all the numbers down there with the ships and conservation and the flea market and parents weekend. And I think I told Marla on the phone today, I think we might have maxed out down Old Town Cape this weekend. We'll have this will set a new base for to be exceeded. But it was a great weekend downtown and through the university. And then I want to highlight the 3 public meetings for PRS, or my 2. Anyone else, council?
Mine is more of a request, an ask. With the tragedy in Las Vegas late last night, I'd like to see if we could do a moment of silence to begin tonight.
Okay, we can do that. Anyone else?
I also should have mentioned that we will have our acknowledgement of the rescue team that was deployed to Harvey at our next meeting.
Yeah, that, council scratched that on the regular agenda. That will be next meeting. They haven't been redeployed. We're just rescheduled for the next meeting. Anyone else? Anything from staff?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
We have 3 public hearings this evening, all for rezonings. The first is for a property at 1237 North Water Street, a rezoning from R2 to M1. This is for the automotive shop. The property owner would like to move forward with a bait and tackle shop and a small grocery in the Red Star area and needs the rezoning to accommodate that.
Council want to go through these, so I think with 3 of them, we'll move and do the bill number right at that time. Whether anybody's here or not, I think we'll just move it that way.
And that corresponds
Item
with
17.
Item 17. The second public hearing is to rezone property on Cardrona Drive from R2 to R1. This is out at Dalhousie. It's the next phase of the subdivision, and a portion of the next phase is currently zoned R2. They would like to make it consistent and are requesting the R1 zoning. And the third public hearing is a request to rezone property at 921 Independence Street from C1 to C2. You may recall at our last meeting, Trey Bertrand was here from P&Z to give an update on this rezoning application. Originally, they requested an M1 zoning district, which the Planning and Zoning Commission did not support. However, to accommodate the applicant's request, Planning and Zoning recommended C2. However, staff is not supportive of that recommendation. There's no other C2 zoning in that vicinity. The closest would be at Carruthers on Independence. And so we think the best solution in this particular case would be to allow automotive sales, which is what the applicant would like to do, as a special use permit in the C1 zoning district. That would maintain the C1 zoning consistent with the neighborhood, but it would also allow the applicant to proceed with the auto sales. We are also willing to work with the applicant and on getting a temporary business license so that he could pursue his business while that change is going through planning and zoning again, which is consistent with what we've done with, we did that with Deer Creek Doggy Day Camp in the past, where we did a similar thing by making it a special use permit in that particular zoning district.
But Planning and Zoning did, if I'm reading this right, they did approve C2 to.
Planning and zoning recommended C2.
C2.
However,
Yep.
Or
recommend.
Sorry, Joseph.
Now, with turning this down, are we going to amend C1?
This
To permit?
action would not, yes,
Yeah, to permit, yeah. And then you'll do a temporary for
correct.
them, and then from all C1 will have that ability then.
With a special use permit, correct.
If that's your wish.
Yeah.
Prepare an ordinance, take it through planning and zoning commission.
Yeah. But then with that amendment to C1, they would still need to get a special use permit? Okay. Understand, council? Everybody on board with that? Council questions? Okay.
I understand it just prevents us from spot zoning, which I don't think.
C2 would be spot zoning,
I
yeah.
don't want to set a precedent and start
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Gonna postpone this tonight?
Going to turn it down.
Oh, vote on it, turn it down.
Yeah. And then they'll come back
Come
with,
back.
come back with
Okay.
with new, and then the staff will create a temporary as a administrative function.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the consent
And then,
agenda.
and when we do that, before we get a motion, if you would highlight that from staff, and
Sure.
we'll comment on that, and then we'll get a motion to turn it down and move on with that, okay? All right.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. In addition to the minutes from the last meeting, we have the second and thirds. Item 5 is the second and third of the shipping container ordinance. Number 6 is the second and third readings for the changes to the Golf Course Advisory Board codes related to the number of meetings they're required to have each year. Item 7 is the ordinance approving the record plat of the Route K North Third subdivision. 8 is a resolution authorizing an escrow agreement for Red Hawk Commons Phase 3. Item 9 is a resolution authorizing a license and indemnity agreement with Centurion Development for a sign at 20 North Main that will extend into the right-of-way. 10 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Loppy Cement for the Boxwood Drive Culvert Project. 11 is a resolution authorizing a contract with Planning Design Studio for parks and recreation projects in the city. That's a general extension of a general services agreement that we've had in place previously, so just extending that, I believe, for another 5 years. Item 12 is exception of the construction for the Fire Station 2 Annex building and authorizing final payment to Zellner for that. 13 is accepting Veterans Memorial Drive Phase 3A improvements. This is the section on Mid-America's property up by the sports complex. That's part of their Transportation Development District project. And then finally, the last 2 items on consent are accepting public improvements to serve the Little Mac East subdivision in the city of Cape and partial release of escrow for that same subdivision. Are there any items that you would like removed from consent? All right. I'm hearing none. New ordinances. Item 16 is approving the record plat of Red Hawk Commons Phase 3. Ordinance zoning applications. We have no appointments, and I believe you have a couple of memos related to appointments to the HPC, Historic Preservation Commission, and Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
And some advisory board minutes in the back. I always like to pay attention to, know what's going on in those. Okay, any questions about the agenda? Any other questions about the agenda? Okay, we have a beautiful business property of the month. Robbie, if you will join me with Life Care Center. How are you? Good.
Thank you for having me.
See you. Well, we got that beautiful new property. How many? When did you build?
2013. Yes, sir.
Last year we came down there and cut ribbons. But beautiful new property out in Broadview with the Life Care Center. And not only the property is beautiful, but the buildings, but the landscaping is beautiful. It's recognized by our Keep Cape Beautiful Committee. And this month's winner, and for recognition as the beautiful property of the month. And the sign, is it there?
It is there.
Okay, great, it's there.
Yes,
We'll be proud of that. And we're proud of you, and we're so proud of all the businesses that have been recognized through the months and years by the Beautification Committee and the Beautification Committee. Robbie, on behalf of
Julie, too.
for the work that they've done. It every little thing just helps, and as people see it, it rubs off. So, to you, we say congratulations, job well done, and it goes to you. Thank you very much. This might be a record short study session. We've had record short council sessions. We do not have a closed session tonight, council. So if council has no other items to discuss, we'll adjourn our study session and reconvene at 7 p.m. Thank you all for being here.